Welcome to another segment on whiskey here at Irish Homemade. Trying it out on a different angle today since I'm my own cameraman. I can't really go and change it all that much. But let's go. Today we're actually going to be featuring some whiskeys that are not on our flights list, but just so you know, you can make a flight out of any combination that you'd like to try. We're always happy to do it. So these are some American whiskeys that are very different and unique from your mainstream, with some very interesting stories, and so I'm just going to share them with you today. Starting with right here, this is Larceny. Not sure how many of you guys have heard of it. It comes from the legend of John F. Fitzgerald. He was a government bonded treasury agent who would go into warehouses at distilleries that he had the keys to and take what he felt was the best whiskeys. Now, interesting thing about this is back in those late 1800 days, these bondsmen were the only ones allowed to have the keys to the warehouses. So everyone would come in the next day, see stuff missing, and say, well, I guess that's a Fitzgerald bottle. He was so legendary for stealing the best bourbons that the original owner of this distillery, named S.C. Herbst, and then had made this old Fitzgerald brand of bourbon. He then sold it to Julian Pappy Van Winkle, and I'm sure you guys know who that is. Got one of the best known bourbons on the market, named after him. And he named the best bourbons Old Fitzgerald as well. Larceny pays homage to this story of John Fitzgerald and his fine taste. So this is a hand-selected to have a taste profile of a 6-year-old straight bourbon made with wheat as the secondary grain instead of the more traditional rye. And it has this new copper kind of color with aromas of freshly made bread, toffee, and a hint of butterscotch. The taste is buttery caramel and with honeyed note that makes your taste buds ask for more. You can take the first sip a little bit harshly. Me personally, I didn't like it the first time I tried it, but if you go and give it a couple more sips, you really start to get the different complex flavors in it. Add a couple drops of water to it and it really opens it up, as it does with most. And then you can just keep on drinking it. Next we have the beer barrel bourbon right here in the center. This one comes from Michigan. It's one of the first distilleries to play with beer finished whiskey. After they aged the beer for several years and charred new American oak, as they do with all bourbons since that's mandatory. They finish it in Dragon's Milk beer barrels for 3 months. So this company makes Dragon's Milk beer, and they age it in the beer barrels, and then they actually take the beer after the whiskey comes out and put the beer back in to age it with that whiskey taste. So going back and forth. It's very sweet, kind of like molasses, and you really get that wood from it. It's almost like smelling root beer, and it's got that malty taste with a slight kick that quickly goes away. It's a really nice drink. You can have it straight, on the rocks, water, however you want it. It's going to be smooth and kind of like drinking a flat soda, but not with that flat soda kind of, you know what I mean? Last here we have Old Bardstown Estate. It's a sour mash bourbon. That doesn't actually mean it's sour. Sour mash is just a type of recipe name. Gets its name from sourdough, and it's it's just like the name of the recipe kind of thing. More of an advertising gimmick. Bardstown is distilled in Bardstown, Kentucky, but it's not actually named after Bardstown, Kentucky. It's named after this handicapped horse named Bardstown from the mid-1950s who kept, working hard to win in these handicap races and actually won most of them. And kind of like Thomas Tank Engine, kept saying, I think I can, and made it over the hill. And just like that, of course, they always, Old Bardstown's always trying to do a better job with their bourbon. And just like this horse always persevered, in all these handicap races. From the auburn color to the single malt-like nose and body, when a drop of water is added, this is reminiscent of a nice sherry cask finished Scotch whiskey. Earthy malt tones prevail on the back end, and it has a eucalyptus kind of nose where you can pick up that hint of sherry. It's got some tastes of nutmeg, somewhat salty texture on the tongue, and tobacco with a medium finish with a lingering taste of leather and grass clippings. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll have more coming, and until next time, whiskey dreams.